just looking at it now. You know, it's like the first thing that you look at when you are trying to figure out how to film a video. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is a video I did not anticipate to film. This is a video that I think I relate to more than any other video on YouTube, and it is having thin hair. Thin, limp, lifeless hair, and how to deal with that on a daily basis, and as well how to take care of it. This is a video I didn't plan on filming, and it's because it is one of my biggest pain bodies and insecurities that I have ever had. I am that person. I have always been that person that constantly changes my hair every single day. I am constantly brushing my hair every single day because I'm so aware that it is thin. Now, it's just a part of my genetics. Now, I'm also someone who has gotten hair extensions before, and I get them because they really fill out my hair, give it body, give it the ability to curl and hold that curl to the next day. Because if you have thin hair, you know, okay, every single day I need to wash my hair because it gets greasy, or it looks greasy, or it looks limp and lifeless. Maybe this was before you even started diving into the world of dry shampoo or anything like that. But what I want you to know is there is some light at the end of the tunnel, and if we take care of our thin hair, well, we might actually begin to not mind it as much or not notice it as much. At the beginning of quarantine, when I had my extensions in, I obviously had to take them out. So this was one of the days I was dreading so much, and personally it felt like a part of my identity was being taken away because I felt so much more comfortable having thick hair. Now, I'm sure you can relate to that. If you've ever tried clip-ins or anything like that, you get into this mode where you literally can't feel yourself or live without them because it's just who you want to be. It's how you want your body to look. I can completely relate to that. Not saying that getting highlights or going to the salon or getting extensions is bad, but it's got to come from a place of wanting to do that because you are embracing your natural beauty. You are doing this because, you know, it makes you feel good and it makes you feel more like yourself, versus trying to fit into a mold so that people will like your photos. And I can also identify the fact that that was a huge insecurity that I really needed to tackle, and I didn't want to, so I continued to avoid. Income global pandemic.
By sweet Instagram main and internal validation that I am enough.
This was a moment where I had to take them out. It was awful. I was crying. I was not happy. But you know what? My hair actually under them was getting healthier and healthier because I was using less heat. And now, with my natural hair color coming in, if you are also someone who is thin-haired and has blonde hair and continues to highlight, you will note that probably your hair is feeling pretty stringy during the day. And even if you're not blonde-haired, you probably have one of the biggest grievances that your hair feels stringy throughout the day. You feel like you constantly need to brush it, and just brushing it continues to take more hair out. What the heck? So the first thing is easy does it, okay? Because you know what? Thin hair is so prone to damage. So there are so many things we have to keep in mind when we are taking care of our hair. So the first thing, I'd love for you to get a wide tooth comb and to never brush your hair with a thin tooth comb. If you have a brush like this with very flexible bristles, and you can see it's not necessarily tearing through my hair. Now keep in mind, I did just brush my hair. It's just gently running through it. That is one thing to keep in mind. And as well, if I hadn't had just brushed my hair, the way I would have brushed my hair just there is I would have held on to it pretty tight here. And then I would have just gently combed through the bottom and then started working back up to the roots. If you are someone who just wants to get in there and rip all those tangles out, you're probably creating a lot of damage. So maybe be a little bit more mindful. I remember I was doing my hair on vacation and I was with a friend and I was just ripping through it with the straightener, and she literally looked at me and said, "Careful!" And that was the moment I realized, you know what? I'm a part of the problem here, for sure. And if I don't like my hair, there are things that I can do so that it's performing its best on a daily basis. Another thing that I want to say when it comes to your hair care is be mindful of how much you are coloring and highlighting it. Now, this is only a tip and a tactic that I learned from being in this pandemic. You can maybe see it's a little bit more blonder at the tips here, but since the pandemic, I have not colored my hair at all. Now, I do recognize that I am in my late 20s and I do not have any graying or white hairs coming in that also adds to the layer of being self-conscious about my hair. and I am privileged right now that this is my natural hair color. But my natural hair color when I was younger was like white. So that is something that I'm used to, and that is something that I have fallen into the routine of always highlighting my hair. So if we can kind of take away some of those steps, especially when it comes to bleaching your hair where you are removing parts of your hair, it's just going to make it a little bit weaker. So maybe a point of this is also a bit of acceptance. When you are washing your hair, this is a big tip. Only condition the ends. This is not something that I was doing all the time. Actually, I think it was this year or last year that I really started doing it, because that's actually what the technician said when I got extensions. She was like, do not put conditioner in the top part of your hair. It's going to really build up within the tapes and everything like that. That was the kind that I had, and it will as well create the look of greasiness. So literally when I wash my hair, it's probably only this bottom part that I will condition lightly, and I will work through. And I remember this so much because my mom and I have similar hair. That's where I got it. Thanks, Bon. Is she would always say just a little dime size of conditioner. I know so often we just want to go in and deep condition, but that's not going to be a part of your hair washing story every single day anymore. It's just going to be the ends of your hair there, and then as well a limited amount of that conditioner. When it comes to washing out that conditioner and that shampoo, one of the greatest things that you could do is turn down the temperature. Now, I don't think that every single one of us is going to be doing a polar bear dip every single time that we rinse our hair out, but if you can get over to a lukewarm or even a room temp water when you rinse out your hair, that's going to be so beneficial for the strands. Scalding hot water, really hot water, actually dries out your hair, and it dries out your skin too. There's maybe something you can think of, even when one of those drops kind of hits your skin, it evaporates slightly and it pulls out moisture. So that's why when you have a really hot shower, it's great to also moisturize your skin, but that is a topic for another time. When you get out of the shower, now you have shampooed, now you've conditioned, now you've rinsed. When you get out of the shower, do not brush your hair vigorously. When your hair is wet, it is at its most fragile state, and that is when we want to be extremely, extremely gentle. You can run through with your fingers. Obviously, that is like having a fine tooth, or rather a really wide tooth comb. A wide tooth comb is really great to just get some of those tangles out. You're going to want to put in maybe a little detangler product, but also that's another tip. If you've got really thin hair, a ton of product might just weigh that down. So try a couple and find the one that works for you. Now as well, when you are drying your hair, it's good to just go in with your towel and dab it slightly and not do the whole like head shaker routine, because that can also cause damage to your hair. So this is just something, if you can go on an air dry day, do that. And if you can, just squeeze that hair maybe a little bit drier. Maybe as well using one of those microfiber towels can also be great versus a harsh cotton towel. One thing that I do as often as I see fit, maybe every 6 to 8 weeks, is I will either go in for a little trim, or because of the pandemic, and honestly I've been doing this my whole life, is I will just perform a little trim. And it's very easy, literally to the point of just combing through and then trying to find more of that blunt cut. You can notice, maybe even right now, take your hair and just see if there's all these little stray wispies, long pieces. Those are likely the pieces that are making your hair look a little bit frazzled and out of sorts and stringy. So those are the ones you want to remove. I as well go for a blunt cut. Now, I'm not a hairdresser and I'm not a hair technician, but I know personally when I have more of a blunt cut, it makes my hair look thicker versus a thinning of the ends, because that's what we're trying to get away from, is the thinning. Speaking of washing your hair, one thing that I've also started to adopt is dry shampoo. Now this can be a phenomenal resource for you if you have thin hair, because it's just, think of a t-shirt that you have, washing it every single day, how that's going to turn out. That's something that I really started thinking about. Jonathan Van Ness said it on an episode of Queer Eye, and I was just,
yes.
by the end of the month because you have just washed it every single day. You're really pulling a lot of those fibers out. Well, it's the same with your hair. Your hair is strands of protein and they need a break from the washing. So what you can do is invest in a dry shampoo. Try a couple, see which one works for you. I've tried the Living Proof shampoo. I find that one to be really amazing. Also, I really love the Batiste dry shampoo, and I know that there are a few different options as well if you don't want to get an aerosol can. Another tip for dry shampoo and thin hair, actually, that I heard is to actually put the dry shampoo in your hair in different layers, let it sit for a couple minutes, and then go in with a towel and then just kind of rub it out. And that towel is going to pull out some of the oils and the dry shampoo, because if you have thin hair, one of the concerns could probably be build up with the dry shampoo, and then you've got thin stringy hair and dry shampoo buildup. And it's like, what's the solution here? A good thing about dry shampoo though is that it can actually add a little bit of volume, and limp-haired ladies and men, get at me. At night, this is the time when you're like, okay, we've washed our hair this day. Now I'm gonna try and make it last to tomorrow, but this overnight period, one, it's gonna flatten out my hair more, and two, it's going to make it crimpy and crazy depending on how I am laying on it. One, never go to sleep with wet hair. Please, maybe a little bit damp if you've got it in a bun and it is protected, but if you go to sleep with wet hair, you are going to wake up looking like Michael Bolton. That was me this morning. You are going to wake up with wild hair. It is going to be it is going to be living in complete entropy, randomness. There's going to be flavors of kinked hair, curled hair, straight hair, stringy hair. It's not going to be a good time. So if you are someone who goes to bed and has a shower before bed, this may be one of those times where you have a shower and you put your hair up in a little bun, or you are just trying to do a little tight bun. So when you take it out, it's at least a bit straighter within that curl, if that's the way your hair is. If you are blessed with amazing curly hair, I know that you probably have a completely different routine, and there are probably other YouTube videos that will fit for the overnight hair routine for you, because I clearly have this limp straight hair. Now I also sleep on a silk pillowcase. This is another thing I adopted after Christmas. It was what I asked for Christmas. And this is something that I've heard a lot from my one friend, Dominique. She's a Black influencer and she talks often a lot about her hair. And I will link her down below because she has amazing tips on specifically Black women's hair and how to take care of it after it's relaxed, or our natural hair or overnight hair. And one of the things that she was saying is that a silk pillowcase is really phenomenal, or even putting your hair up a certain way at night can be really phenomenal. So I adopted that as well. Silk pillowcase will allow your hair to slip when you are sleeping. The thing we are trying to avoid here at night is friction between our hair proteins and that pillowcase. So this can be a really interesting maybe gift to give someone, or just to try out. I'm gonna link the one I have down below. Now, I think that there are many options. All you have to do is find a 100% silk pillowcase. It doesn't have to be this one. Take a surf around the net and just try to find one and just try it out for a night. One of the first things that I did when I was getting older and I noticed that my hair just wasn't looking the way that I wanted it to look anymore was I went to the doctor. I had my blood taken, and oftentimes thinning hair can be a signature of a vitamin deficiency or a hormone deficiency. And this is something that if you have thinning hair, you notice in the shower, hair is falling out, and you just don't know what's going on, please check in with your doctor because they can have the right answers for you. And on the other side of the coin here as well, sometimes things in your diet can really help out with thinning hair. So one of the things that I want to challenge myself to do is actually go in and talk to a dietitian, because there are things that we can eat in our daily lives that can really help towards proliferation of better, stronger hair, nails, and skin. There are also supplements that are out there, and this is another thing that I highly suggest checking in with a doctor about, whether it be a boost in vitamin D, biotin, or anything like that. These are all things that can really contribute in the inside, that contribute to the outside look of our overall body and beauty. Also, drink a lot of water. that's just gonna help with everything. I give it a go every single week in terms of a hair treatment. I try, I really do try. I'm a bath enthusiast, so this is when I find the perfect time to put in a hair mask or a hair treatment. And I only do this once a week because, again, I don't want products to weigh down my hair, but I do want to give it the nourishment that it needs that shampoo and conditioner just simply aren't cutting it on. I have been doing the Olaplex treatment and I do find that it helps. In fact, I did it last night, and this morning after a little trim, because I also did my little trim, I did find that my hair was laying much nicer and much smoother, and it just felt a lot healthier. So also look into a couple of hair treatments. I will again link the one that I have been doing below. Now that we're on a little bit of a product speak, I also want to say when looking for a shampoo or conditioner, two things to really avoid: sulfates as well as silicones. Parabens as well is another part of this puzzle. Sulfates can really start to deteriorate your hair. I'm going to link down the shampoo as well that I use below, and it's like the phrase of it is like angel hair, and I'm like, yeah, if I was a pasta, I would be angel hair pasta for sure. So that is something that I highly recommend. Also look for damaging alcohols in your shampoo. I know it seems daunting to find the right product, but once you do, you can start to just build your routine, and then it can be out of sight, out of mind. You buy a bottle of shampoo and it's gonna last a long time because you've got thin hair. Hopefully you're not overusing. But anyways, that's actually a benefit to having thin hair. Maybe you won't use as many products. You won't be spending enough money just trying to make this into a positive for you in your life. But if you invest the time in finding the right shampoo and conditioner, this could be good, okay? And I know it can seem daunting, but once you find it, once you've got it, it's going to be a part of your beauty routine, and it's going to really start to amp up the health of your hair. So no sulfates, no silicones. One of the tough things about a healthy hair routine is trying to use less heat. Now this morning I did blow dry my hair and straighten it, so this is what it looks like when I do that. But if we can start to try to figure out some ways to use less heat, this can also be your second day hair routine. Maybe the first day you're like, you know what, this is when I feel most confident. I think I'm gonna be blow drying my hair and putting heat on it. It's just the way it goes. Find a way to do a second day hair that involves dry shampoo, maybe pinning your hair back, letting some pieces come forward, and then using a bold lip and a great pair of earrings. And that's where the volume and the character is spoken throughout. How you appeal to the world. I get it. Confidence is huge when it comes to hair loss and thin hair. Whether you are a man or a woman, I don't care. Whatever you identify as, this is huge. And it's why our beauty industry is making so much money off of hair products. I'm gonna leave you with a debatable topic. Debatable topic number 1. Should we pay for the same haircut rate as someone with a long, voluminous mane? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope that some of these tips helped you. If we could get a comment thread going below on what products you guys are using and other tips that you have, just to build a community of support for my thin-haired ladies and men out there, because I know it can be really stressful sometimes, and sometimes the way that your day goes is determined on how your hair looks right in the morning, and throughout the day it can certainly change. Thinking of making some more videos like this, so be sure to subscribe and like this video and comment if you did like it, because it only helps me figure out what I want to do more on this channel. I love you guys so much, and I hope you're having a good hair day. Bye.
Some lice shampoo.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Didn't you just use her comb?
I did.